It's the 16th day of March 2023, and we're here again for the breakfast show on Spectrum Television. Of course, you know already, Rise and Shine Daily. My name is Janice Cobham, and I'm super delighted because I know that it is because of you that we come here every morning to talk about things happening in the country and of course globally as well. Many thanks for joining us, and we really do appreciate you. Welcome.
Good morning, Africa. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Akwa Ibom State. My name is Iyai Anekan, and it's a good day to be alive and a great day to rise and shine wherever you are. Of course, I will not forget to remind you to be a part of the growing community. Also, like, share, comment across all our social media platforms. You can find all that at spectrumtv.ng. Of course, we'd also have the phone lines displayed on the screen. Please do well to call us, send us WhatsApp messages or text messages to make your contributions on the issues that we raised on the floor and Rise and Shine. But remember, before you place that call, please do turn down the volume of your television set so that we can have a very smooth conversation. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Okay, good morning, Uyai. I'm forced to wish you a happy hour.
Today's Thursday.
Okay, today's Thursday.
We have one more day.
One more day to happy hour.
But you know, like when you get the vibe that we are almost getting to happy hour.
Yes, I think that's the vibe I'm feeling actually right now.
So what would tomorrow be like?
It will be happy hour. I'm sure a lot of you do not understand what the happy hour thing is, but let's just leave the cat in the bag. Definitely, we will let you know what this whole happy hour thing is. But I hope that wherever you are watching us this morning, you have a reason to be happy, actually. Yeah, I just saw something now. Man rides bicycle from Katsina to Lagos to celebrate Tinubu's victory. I remember the last person that trekked from Lagos to Daura. Was it Daura now or Abuja? Abuja, you know, because when Buhari won the elections. So we have another person that is riding bicycle all the way from Katsina to Lagos State to celebrate Bola Ahmed Tinubu's victory.
Wow.
Yeah, I like the expression. Wow. I like the emotions you just expressed. It's so beautiful to see. Awesome. Yeah, like people that are really liking the president-elect and doing stuff for him. Well, we just hope that his administration turns out, you know, the best. Like he said, he's going to have sleepless nights, making sure, you know, that Nigeria is united again, and there are no ASU strikes, and then the youths are gainfully employed and all of that, and the economy also will rebound again.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, for some people, it's worth celebrating. So this kind of news just makes you know that there are people who are super excited that Tinubu won the elections, you know, and all of those things. So good for the fellow. We do hope that after riding that bicycle and, you know, getting to Lagos, he has an employment, he has something to do for himself, and his life is actually good in the next 8 years. Because do you know where the last person who trekked? Can you tell us where he is?
Maybe by now his bones are not healed properly or something.
Let's calm down in this country.
This other person riding a bicycle, I think that's part of exercise as well. You know, riding a bicycle is one exercise that works for your whole body. Okay, so and it works really fast. It's effective in terms of trimming down and all of that. So
which means he's ready to survive the next 8 years.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's I just hold on that particular one this morning. Welcome once again to Rise and Shine Daily. Good morning, and of course you know that we will definitely start our conversations this morning. Aside from banters, we'll start our major focus or major stories this morning from more trendy like conversations, you know, that are making the rounds. And so we'll be talking about the PDP family and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who was the party flag bearer during the presidential elections. Now we all know that the People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar have withdrawn an application they filed to compel the Independent National Electoral Commission to allow their agents to participate in the process of sorting out ballot papers that were used for the February 25 presidential election. Both the PDP and Atiku who are separately challenging the outcome of the election that was declared in favor of Bola Tinubu. The candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress told the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, sitting at the Court of Appeal in Abuja, that they have deemed it fit to discontinue the application. Now also, when the motion ex parte marked CAPEC/10M/2023 was called up for hearing on Wednesday, which was yesterday, Atiku, through his team of lawyers led by Joe Kiari Gadzama, told the court that he filed a notice of discontinuance. And following this particular action, Justice Joseph Ikeg led three-member panel struck out the application. Of course, a member of Atiku's legal team who did not want his name mentioned also disclosed that the decision to withdraw the application was an outcome of a meeting his legal team with the leadership of the electoral body held on Tuesday. There we are. Is it more like Atiku Abubakar and the People's Democratic Party are saying they are not continuing, you know, with contesting the elections, the result of the 2023 February 25 elections now?
That's a lot. That's a lot for Nigerians to take at this time, especially because the People's Democratic Party was the most outgoing one after the elections came. We saw them move immediately to a peaceful protest at the INEC headquarters, and of course also filed several suits. One to inspect the sensitive materials, another suit against the just concluded elections. And when we hear that, you know, this is a response off the back of a meeting that was held with, you know, INEC officials and the legal team of the People's Democratic Party, I think, of course, your wondering will be as wild as mine. What exactly was discussed in this meeting? What was put on the table that you would now have, you know, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and his entire team decide to discontinue with the suit filed against, you know, the electoral body at this time? And that means that we have one set entirely pull out from, you know, requesting a redress at that, you know, just concluded election. So that actually sparks a lot of questions, and do we know if these questions will be answered? That's another question that's left unanswered, because I mean, we really need to like get a hint into what was discussed. Why are you withdrawing from this? And another thing I'd like to look at is, are the articulated followers satisfied, you know, that their candidates, as it were, no longer wants to defend the mandate? Everyone was saying, oh, our mandate was stolen, and we are going to head to the courts to recover it. All of a sudden, what happened to the stolen mandates? Are you now okay that the person, quote and unquote, who stole it can, you know, go ahead with it and all the likes? But another side that, if we look at it, a lot of people are going to feel like, okay, maybe he's doing the wise thing, he's doing the better thing for the country at this time, so that let's have peace, sheath your sword, right, so to speak. We don't have to go, you know, fighting because one person, you know, won the election. Let's accept who has won and let's move ahead.
Okay, so I don't actually think that you know, what Atiku Abubakar and the PDP are saying is that they no longer want to challenge the results of the 2023 February 25 elections. But I just think that in terms of asking INEC, you know, to give them access to sensitive materials, to inspect sensitive materials, they are just playing down on that particular one and all of that. But I know that Paul Ibe, who is the media aide of the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has tried to make some explanations in this regard. I think one of the things he said, and I'm going to quote him, is that it has become pertinent to make clarifications. He explained in a statement on Wednesday night that the withdrawal was due to events that overtook the application. So I think in between we might just need like maybe a legal, you know, luminary to explain exactly what this withdrawal of application actually means, because I just saw somewhere here that Atiku Abubakar is also saying that or is also expressing optimism of recovering his mandate, and he also urged Nigerians as they go to elect their governors on Saturday that his supporters do not despair, saying all hope was not lost. So more like giving a reassurance.
So
we are
this
still
is actually
going
about
to
a particular suit that was filed on the 13th of March.
Exactly.
So it's not like even the one that was filed just after the election. So it's talking about a particular suit.
Yes.
So this is, it's not like Atiku Abubakar is withdrawing, like you said, from his probe into the February 25th election. So I think it should have been citing the particular suit with the name, you know, what it was filed for, because now it's saying the suit that was filed on the 13th, we have seen it was as a result of certain bottlenecks and, you know, administrative encumbrances with INEC, but now they have decided to, you know, address it a different way. So I think like you said, it's best if the legal team are playing. Like we said yesterday, a lot of things in this country is you're just quoting with too much English.
Yeah.
You know, gaps in information will make people to try to interpret it the best way that suits them. So why don't you say the suit that was filed on March 13 addressing this particular issue, you know, is what we are withdrawing. Of course, this is bordering around, like you said, checking the sensitive materials. You know, more like that, getting out of the way for INEC to be able to go ahead with the already finished reconfiguration and carrying out, you know, the gubernatorial elections without the encumbrance of PDP being on their neck for sensitive materials.
Yeah. I think we also have a video of the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, encouraging people to go out on the 18th of March to vote. So we'll just take a listen to that particular video and then we come back to this conversation.
Immensely for your fellow Nigerians, I thank you immensely for your high sense of patriotism, embracing the myriads of odds to perform your civic duty during the February 25 presidential election. I truly appreciate your resilience, tenacity, and courage. It is indeed heartwarming that you have faith in rescuing and rebuilding our great country as envisioned by our great party, the PDP. As attested to by both local and international observers, the result of the February 25th presidential election, as announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission, was grossly tainted and did not reflect the will of the electorates. You all have demonstrated against this blatant injustice through different mediums. And for that, I thank you again for your non-violent conduct despite the provocations. Indeed, what the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, did in announcing the manipulated result was a clear breach of not only the 2022 Electoral Act, but also its own guidelines, which the Electoral Commission had repeatedly claimed would uphold the standards we had seen in the Osun and Ekiti elections. The INEC chairman further ignored calls for a review of the process in line with the amended law. My fellow citizens, all hope is not lost. You must never give in to apathy. I assure you that the electoral fraud perpetrated by INEC will be reversed in due course, as I champion the cause to reclaim our mandate. We as citizens must continue to show resilience in the defense of our democracy and in the exercise of our rights to vote. As the March 18th governorship and state houses of assembly elections beckon, I urge you as patriotic citizens of our dear country to come out in your numbers to cast your votes. That is one of the ways you can use to demonstrate against the sham of an election of February 25. As you cast your votes peacefully this Saturday, and in observance of the Electoral Act and INEC guidelines, be sure to do so for the candidates of the PDP, the only truly national party for a greater and prosperous Nigeria. May God bless you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Yeah, in strong words there, but in all of that, I think that protecting the democratic ethos of the country is very important. I like the fact that he's also urged people to go out there and exercise their civil responsibility, which is voting for candidates of their choice. So whether it is PDP, APC, NMPP, YPP, or Labour Party, any party that you feel, SDP, LP, any party that you feel that, you know, somebody, I like what Matthew O'Connell normally says, that if you vote for somebody, you're voting for yourself, because you see yourself in that candidate that you're actually voting for. So vote for candidates that represent your ideals, your principles, and all of that. And also make sure that we go out there peacefully as well. Saturday is just by the corner. We just have one more day to Saturday to go for the elections. And yes, let's shun all vices as well. Is not really necessary at this point.
Yeah, absolutely not necessary. Yeah, well, that's basically it for Atiku Abubakar and the People's Democratic Party on that particular story. We'll see how that unravels, of course. Like we earlier said, more explanations could be expected from their legal team so that they are not interpreted out of context. Are they still in the race to verify certain things for the February 25th election? Yes, but they pulled out a particular suit in the race. Yes, but let's come back to Akwa Ibom State, the land of promise, heading to fulfillment. A lot of things have been happening, and if you're a keen follower of Twitter and certain social media spaces, you'll find out that Akwa Ibom is trending and one of our gubernatorial candidates is trending. But let's give you a background to this particular story. Now, the PDP governorship candidate in Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Umo Eno, has caused a stir when he announced on Wednesday afternoon that if elected governor, he would declare the hours of 5 to 6 p.m. every Friday as happy hour to enable bars sell drinks at affordable prices to the people. Here are his exact words as he spoke, you know, during as he spoke to the meeting. Every Friday, okay, well, and what to do with the happy hour? Okay, this is like we're going to give.
Yeah, let's
voice.
give.
Let's just give voice.
Yes,
to it.
let's give voice to it.
Between 5 and 6, I tell you one thing. Every Friday, I will have what I call happy hour for the state. And it's simple. What do I want to do with happy hour? I want to create business for people that have facility. So young people, I tell you one thing. Every Friday, I will have what I call happy hour for the state. And it's simple. What do I want to do with happy hour? I want to create business for people that have facility. So we declare that, okay, you know what, between 5 and 6, these are the bars that will, all our young people, I tell you one thing, every Friday, I will have what I call happy hour for the state. And it's simple. What do I want to do with happy hour? I want to create business for people that have facility. So young people, I tell you one thing.
Okay, yeah, that's Pastor Moino right there, of course, is the gubernatorial candidate of PDP in Akwa Ibom State, and that was yesterday, giving that speech, and it has caused a lot of stir. There's a lot of reactions to these on the streets of social media. And I think let's even be fair to start with the reaction of the colleague in politics that was sitting just right to him. That is very distinguished senator. Did they?
Not senator. No.
It's not senator. They call them now. House of Reps member Onofio Luke, who was sitting right beside him. Now let's. Onofio Luke is an intelligent luminary of law, and one of the reasons why people, you know, also liked him is the kinds of ways he represented his thoughts. You could see how embarrassed even, you know, Onofio was in the moment he heard the gubernatorial candidate say that he looked for a way to cover up himself, and that communicates a lot to people that are watching that. You know, people are concerned. How can this be the blueprint that you're selling to Akwa Ibom of things you want to do. You want especially the productive set, the youth. We're already saying we are laid back people in a civil service state, and you want to promote, you know, happy hour where we have rebates on drinks and people to be able to, you know, just go relax. And he said if you were going to sell the drink at 200 naira, you sell it at 50 naira, you know, so that we have more people who drink and lose their minds. And it's just...
Anyways, before I say anything about this, let's just take some tweet reactions of Nigerians on Twitter and how they are responding to this particular issue, the stir caused by the gubernatorial candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Akwa Ibom State, Omoino.
Okay, so this is Imeldi Mba.
Yeah, as it says, breaking news, according to Akwa Ibom State PDP gubernatorial candidate, once he wins, there'll be happy hours to get Akwa Ibom people to relax. Straight to Akwa Ibom, the new land of happy hours.
So at ABC, he said Akwa Ibom people, enjoyment don't come, oh Lord, happy hour, okay.
Then this is from Mwa Ozoadas. He says, see Akwa Ibom PDP candidate. Every day will be enjoyment party after party. Okay. Do we still have another tweet?
Do we have another tweet to take after this one? I think we have one coming. Okay, so this is just like a tip of the iceberg in terms of reactions. Because if you had a way to show what is happening on status tweets, you know, WhatsApp status and all it's an entire rave. You even have people that are in international communities, Akwa Ibomites and all the likes, and like, what exactly is this man talking about?
I think basically this is stirring or causing a lot of reactions, you know, and people are perceiving it negatively because one, Pastor Moinor is a pastor in court, and so people expect something more serious from that angle and not necessarily to be talking about bars and drinks.
But
and
we
all
can
of
excuse
that.
him. He's
But
primarily a hotelier.
Of course,
actually.
yes. That's the point I was coming to. He's off the tourism industry.
Exactly.
And yeah, we know what tourism does for any state, for any nation. Most nations in Asian countries, in the Europe, you know, countries, you know, cash in a lot from tourism. Yeah. If they tell you how much they earn, you know, per capita in a year, you'll be baffled at what tourism does. So for me, aside from looking at it from the angle of, you know, the productive sector or the productive age, you know, shutting down on Fridays after work to have happy hours and all of that, I'm also looking at it from the business angle of it. I'm also looking at it from the tourism aspect of it. Now, you know that this person is a hotelier. He's in the tourism business. So more like he's going to make sure that the tourism sector thrives in Akwa Ibom State. And that is also an avenue for monies to be generated for the state. You made mention of the fact that Akwa Ibom State is predominantly, you know, a civil service state. And if you look at it, we do not even have industries to accommodate the whole teeming population of the young people that are out from schools that universities keep churning out every year as graduates. Okay? So if the governor, or rather the gubernatorial candidate of the People's Democratic Party, is saying that when I become governor, I am going to, maybe he would have used the word, I'm going to boost the tourism sector in Akwa Ibom State. Maybe that would have been more acceptable to people. But because he came from the angle of saying he's going to do a happy hour, and let's not also forget that before the happy hour even came, there was some other thing that was trending where he said people will go to the beach, he'll make a beach out of a beach or something like that. You know, so this is just more like him saying, I'm going to upgrade the tourism life in Akwa Ibom State. And we cannot have tourism without people having fun.
See, you know, if we are going to expand this conversation, if we had that idea properly cultured, right, it would have been presented better.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
that maybe it wasn't put forward better.
Yes, it wasn't put forward better, but it also reveals something.
Okay.
Because I think it's fair, if some intelligent people sat down together, they might have made that thing sellable. But the way he presented it also shows what is really in his mind. you know. And the other argument is, okay, maybe he's really interested in tourism, like he said. Should he not be vying to become a commissioner for tourism? Yes, because we are looking at someone who can look at a state holistically to bring us progress, to bring us production. We don't necessarily need someone that is going to lean into certain things. And if you really want to project it as building the tourism flair in Akwa Ibom State to bring in visitors, to be able to invest in the hospitality sector and bring us revenue back, there would be a way better way for you to put it.
But again,
because when you relax on saying that, oh, when you work hard, you now just have to relax.
Let's bring it down this way. Don't forget that he is in a contest with other people, contest with people that, you know, are acceptable by Akwa Ibomites. Okay. So this is not a race where somebody already knows in Akwa Ibom State who the next governor is going to be.
Wouldn't that have made it better?
Hold on a bit. Hold on a bit.
Well?
Now, a lot of people would say that in Nigeria today, the narrative in politics have changed. We didn't know that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will become the president of elect of Nigeria. And so also in Akwa Ibom State, nobody knows who the next governor is going to be. But it's different. Before now, we would already have known that, oh, this person is going to be the next person. So we have contenders in this race. And not just contenders, and not just mere men. I don't know how to put it now, but these are people that
can give you a run for the seat.
A run for your time, a run for your money, a run for everything. Okay? So we also know that these sets of people and their supporters are also looking for loopholes, and then they kind of expand it and you know, make it blow it out of proportion. Don't forget that. You won't tell me also that, you know, when he was having this particular statement or press briefing or whatever he had, you know, that made him make this comment, it wasn't just about this. He talked about a whole lot more things that he was going to be doing for Akwa Ibom State. So people just pick out this. Netizens, supporters of other political parties that are also in the contest and in the race with him will pick out this and magnify it. And that is why it is being trendy. And, you know, people are talking all the things that they are talking. So you won't tell me that Pastor Moino just went there and sat down and was talking about happy hour and how he will give rebates in drinks and all of that. For the past how many hours he sat down there to address people. So why are people not talking about other things that he said?
Well, you know that...
I agree with you that it wasn't properly put forward. But again, it's something that he's talking about the tourism industry, hospitality business, where he is coming from.
But even if you're saying that, yes, it's a matter of something that was not properly put forward, is it realistic? We are looking at a country that is suffering a withdrawal from subsidies. We are looking for how to withdraw from providing fuel subsidies. And you're talking about giving us subsidies with beverages. How possible is that? We don't even have...
Again, we don't also know whether they are alcoholic beverages.
Exactly. We do not even have the economy that can sustain those kinds of things. So when you're coming to give people wishful promises, it's even better the wishful promises can be swallowed.
Yeah, I quite agree with you. Yes. How sustainable is this?
Exactly.
How beneficial will it even be?
We've not seen subsidies in education. We are not seeing subsidies in health. We are not seeing subsidies in agriculture that will actually boost, you know, the economy. You're talking about subsidizing beverages for people to be able to go and drink at a lesser price. Even if you said 1,001 more beneficial things, that just caps it all up. I mean, it turns down everything you've been attempting to say the whole night.
Well, happy hours every Friday in Akwa Ibom State, and that's what the gubernatorial candidate of the People's Democratic Party is saying that he will do.
Are looking forward to happy hours.
for Akwa Ibomites. So when you work, they say all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
And
that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying, that after work we need to relax. We are going to relax right now, and I will relax right now and take a breather. And when we come back, of course, all that interesting conversations on Rise and Shine will continue. Let's head to the news brief desk where we have Mary Joseph on standby. Just stay with us.
government, Secretary General, delegates.
His Excellency Lagos Nigeria for Spectrum TV to recover for the lapses in counting.
A very good morning to you and welcome to your morning news briefing Spectrum live from Uyo. I am Mary Joseph. Beginning the news brief this morning is a report that the federal government has postponed the 2023 population and housing census earlier scheduled for March 29. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, who revealed this to State House correspondents shortly after the week's Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by the President Muhammadu Buhari, said the postponement became necessary because of the reschedule of the state elections. On electoral matters, 15 governorship candidates in Akwa Ibom State, including the People's Democratic Party, All Progressives Congress, Young Progressives Party, Labour Party and the New Nigerian People's Party, have signed a peace accord and pledged to guarantee peaceful conduct of the March 18 governorship and State House of Assembly elections in the states. Speaking during the event at the command headquarters, Ikotakpanabia, the Commissioner of Police, CP Olatoye Durosimi, urged the candidates to warn their supporters against perpetrating violence or indulging in any form of thuggery. Meanwhile, Nigeria has rejoined the United Nations peacekeeping operations after pulling out due to the insurgency ravaging the country. Recall that Nigeria had in 2013 withdrawn troops from UN missions in Mali and Sudan to beef up security and home. In a statement by the acting head of missions and force commander of the United Nations Interim Security Force for Abel, Major General Benjamin Sweya said Nigeria was inducted back into the UN peacekeeping mission on March 15, 2023. In the meantime, the United Nations has said that the presidential elections held on February 25 revealed the sharp ethnic, religious and demographic fault lines in Nigeria, despite the signing of the peace accord by candidates of their political parties. The senior human rights advisor in the office of the UN resident coordinator, Adowa Kufo, who stated this during the launch of a national stability dialogue in Abuja, noted that engagement in genuine dialogue involving all the stakeholders would be pivotal to calling for accountability to restore confidence in governance. We head now to the foreign scene where North Korea has reportedly fired an intercontinental ballistic missile just hours before the leaders of South Korea and Japan were due to meet for landmark talks. Both Japanese and South Korean officials have confirmed the long-range missile's launch, which flew about 620 miles, landing in water west of Japan. In its Pyongyang fourth missile launch in a week and comes as U.S. and South Korea hold joint naval drills. And finally, in sports, Victor Osimhen made sure Napoli reached the Champions League quarterfinals for the first time in their history, with a brace in Wednesday's 3-0 stroll past Eintracht Frankfurt. Nigeria striker Osimhen struck either side of halftime to ensure no slip-ups in Naples and help Napoli secure a straightforward and deserved 5-0 aggregate win. We'll have the details of these stories and more in our news at 12. I'm Mary Joseph. Let's head back to Rise and Shine where we have Janice and Uyai on standby. Do have a wonderful morning.
As of state and government, Secretary General, delegates.
His Excellency Lagos Nigeria for Spectrum TV to recover for the lapses in counting.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abuse. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the Constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did?
He never did.
he linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My Lord, the matters counsel is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my Lord, but you can't be talking about cases which are in court,
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my Lord. These cases are in court, my Lord. I'm just reminding your Lordship.
My Lord, sorry, my Lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
One truth not often told is about the transformation that Africa has undergone in recent decades. Africa is shaping its own destiny and should be referred to as the African opportunity. On Spotlight Africa, we paint the African picture the African way, laced with truth, detail, and the color of the African continent. Join Uyai Anyekan every Tuesday and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Spotlight Africa, telling the African story.
Welcome back. This is still Rise and Shine, and we're coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. On Rise and Shine, we bring conversations of very topical issues happening in Nigeria. And of course, we've looked at the fact that the People's Democratic Party has withdrawn a certain suit filed on March the 13th against the electoral umpire. And then also we also saw the fact that the gubernatorial candidate for the People's Democratic Party in Akwa Ibom State has caused a social media rave of the moment, saying he's going to make Akwa Ibomites have a happy hour every Friday between the hours of 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. and also provide a rebate on drinks and beverages. I mean, that's a really loud one, and there's been a lot of reactions in the state. Mary Joseph brought us tidbits of global news. I just want to be moving straight into our daily spotlights, where we'll bring you issues on the front pages of our national dailies.
Okay, welcome back on Spotlight Dailies this morning. We are starting our first paper with the Punch newspaper, but this is also to encourage you to head up to all our social media platforms on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube as well, on Twitter, spectrumtv.ng. That's where you can find us. Of course, do well to click on the subscribe button on your YouTube channel so that you can be part and parcel of our growing community on social media. So we start very quickly now with the Punch newspaper this morning. Let's find out what is on the front page of the Punch. It says the big story: new Naira pains persist despite fresh CBN orders. And the writer says queues chaos in banking halls as scarcity worsens. Banks expect more notes from CBN before Saturday polls. You can get details of this story on page 9. Afenifere leader congratulates Tinubu, endorses Sanwo-Olu. Page 8 is where you get this particular story. And fuel consumption hits 80 million daily. Page 21 is where you get this from, and that's from Mele Kyari, the NNPC boss. Parties warn INEC against Beaver's problem, repeats. Page 2 is where you have that story. Private sector blames Naira crisis for inflation surge. Private sector blames Naira crisis for inflation surge. Page 21 is where you get that story from. You also have Nigeria rejoins UN peacekeeping missions 10 years after exit. Oh, wow. Page 13 is where you get that particular story from. And election poster: Lagos summons principal for punishing pupil. Page 13 is where that story is. Federal government shifts census to May 18. To May, okay, I'm sorry about that date. Federal government shifts census to May. Page 18 actually is where you get that story from. That's where the 18 came into my mind. And those are all the stories that we have on the front page this morning of the Punch newspaper.
Okay, we'll move straight ahead to the Nation newspaper, and the front page of the Nation says banks run out of old new Naira notes to pay customers. Banks run out of old and new Naira notes to pay customers. CBN fails to earn a cash request. Branches shut. Clark Adebanjo Ezibe, others criticize presidential election. Why Nigeria Air may not fly before May 29. Food, petrol prices raise inflation to 21.91%. Governorship battle hots up in Lagos and Oyo. We also have here Sanwo-Olu leaves Akere market victims with 100 million Naira. Okay. That's all we have on the front page. Okay, Lagos PDP chieftains defect to APC, support swells for Makinde. That's, your state, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all that we have there.
Okay, let's look at this day newspaper. Major stories on this day newspaper says concerns mount over governor's moves to rig Saturday's polls by all means. Okay, and the writer of the story says tension high in Rivers, Edo, Enugu, Kano, Katsina, and Cross River State. Akwa Ibom should be one of those states actually. Amid federal government to abolish petrol subsidy before May 29 attributes delay to 2023 elections and census. And let's see what we have on the writer of that story. Urges incoming administration to raise VAT to 10%. Ghana phases out petrol subsidy. Federal government, we are yet to harmonize position on palliatives after subsidy removal, and then approves Nigeria Agenda 2050 population census now to hold in May. Pela Ofehi promised good governance, quality education, employment, and security. I think that's just about all the stories that we have. Of course, there's a story on the Akere markets that got burnt some few days ago. Sanwo will compensate traders with 100 particular markets. The market got burnt in a couple of days. There's all of this. Looking at Lagos State this morning. So we'll talk more about all of what he's doing, whether they are not politically motivated or he's doing it out of sheer benevolence as the governor of Lagos State.
5 minutes to downtime. Okay, let's move to the Vanguard newspaper and let's see what Vanguard says. The very big story there says war in APC of Lukman leads calls for Adamu Omishore to quit. Accuses Omishore of misdeeds for defamation. Candidates 2 days to polls. Candidates parties bicker over violence, rigging and apathy. Page 5. Cash crunch pushes down inflation month on month. Page 19. Polls. NBC sanctions 25 stations, warns 26 others. Emefiele advises central bankers on industry stability. Page 27. Fuel subsidy. Federal government states yet to harmonize ahead of June deadline. Page 13. Presidential poll. Atiku, PDP withdraw fresh application against INEC. We also have here Buhari's silence on allegations against INEC dangerous. Southern Middle Belt leaders. Page 13. Tinubu's silence over attacks on Igbo in Lagos dangerous for Nigeria, says Labour Party. In sports there, page 31, Edwards warns Usman he's going to knock him out again. Okay, the last story that we have here is from Olufasan. He says lack of accountability is another reason for perennial institutional failure in Nigeria. Public thing that we have on the front page of the Vanguard.
Okay, we'll take our last paper for this morning and then we open up the phone lines for Nigerians to have their say. Shun Rivers and others. And the writer says INEC begins distribution of materials, completes reconfiguration of beavers to May. 3 months to petrol subsidy removal. Federal government yet to finalize palliatives, says minister. You can find that story on all irregularities. And inflation rate hits 21.91% amid naira scarcity. Use Saturday poll to express anger over sham February 25 election, Atiku says in broadcast. And also a story on the Akere market where some will compensate traders with 100 million naira. Now, I think that at this point, we just open up the phone line, guys, dailies. But remember also, I was just looking for that part that said NBC slammed 25 media houses. Please Do not let NBC slam our media house so that we can come out here and tell you on our station, please. We beg you with everything that you need to be begged with right now.
And don't instigate any kind of violence.
Don't instigate any kind of violence, please. Say, as Nigerians, we know that government is listening, and government will also do something in that regard as to what we are facing as a people in Nigeria. Of course, that's just what it seems, or it is in the country, you know, where do that. Do they institute mechanisms for Nigerians to be able, you know, to even after the problem, what happens? Are there punitive measures carried out or meted out on these people?
And some of those probes just disappear somewhere.
And then you don't get to hear about it.
Mention, that is all.
That
you
is
don't
all.
hear, you know, where it's carried out. Except someone now decides that they want to, you know, ruin another person's politics. But it's a major problem, and I couldn't agree less with that particular statement. And it's bad for the kind of country that we live in.
Yeah,
especially because you realize that these people come and go. You cannot probe them, and you cannot demand accountability from the next person that comes into office.
Definitely. Okay, let's take our first call. Let's take our first call.
All right. Hello.
I don't know why these politicians are like this. I hate politicians.
Can you turn down the volume of the television?
Yes, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
All right.
I hate politicians. There is no network. How will beavers work there? And they will still get you results from that particular community. Why are they wicked?
In which local government?
Governor does not know anything concerning that area. But during the election time, the people that are representing us will bring 6 solar lights after 80 years, my sister. Is it not wickedness? There's a clip in our office. They will change. Just use your security man.
Another thing we'll beg from you to back up these claims. We can end to this particular number you just called.
At flood time, flood took over my village.
You remember, we talked about the things are being put together to make sure that people do not
call. It's very worrisome when someone brings solar panels.
Solar panel after the of your television. Difficult for us to get a
morning. What's your name?
So if you can help
ahead.
Yeah, well, I found the kind of people are living with that solar for them.
Is that the same?
I don't know.
No, you know, I think you as the state houses of assembly. Why do we not change the? How do we move forward?
This is more like an institutional failure. So it's not just about, you know, those regional change. We've talked about this over and over again.
The problem of Nigeria.
Yes, we are the
government for this.
But please, we spew out.
Calling you.
Go ahead.
For a reference, watching internet, the youth, in fact, the entire Nigerians, class state and other places, the election was denied. But corrupt places where, but for that reason.
You
now have a political party. Those are some of the issues that are coming from.
Things like this concerning our leaders, concerning the politician, they will lay low to you. They will even go prostrating themselves before the Nigerians for you to just vote them in. And this is a man that we know too well. He pleaded. You know, he addressed us. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. Even before the election of the chairman, he started grading the road, which he used that one to deceive people. After he was voted in, this man relocated with his family. He's not even living in our area again. He comes, whenever he comes, it comes with another bodyguard and all those. You know, this thing has become a general uniform. Now, let me tell you something. I'm sorry before I leave this show. We've seen during these morning crutches, we see different governors suing federal government to court, taking them to court. Have any governor take federal government to court concerning the high price of fuel? When the students are on strike for 8 years, has any governor take the federal government to a court for ASU strike?
Well, Israel, I know that a lot more people share your sentiments, but thank you. You've made your point. Thank you so much for calling us. I know that, you know, when the cash policy started, a lot of governors were on the boat of, no, you don't have to do this. This is not timely enough. You know, this is the wrongest time for you to begin to initiate this kinds of policy. And Nigerians asked a lot of questions along those lines as well. But I think that we just maybe we'll take this as our last call, and then we join our guests, because I hear Victor Anilaju is on standby. Hello, good morning.
I'm from Lagos, Oshodi.
Lagos Oshodi. What's your name, please?
My name is Akachuku.
Akachuku. How is Lagos this morning?
Lagos is good. Everywhere is calm.
Yeah, I know Oshodi is very busy as usual.
Yeah, Oshodi is calm.
All right, so go ahead quickly with your contributions.
Thank you, my people. You know, first of all, I appreciate of you.
Thank you so much.
Sophia, looking so beautiful.
Oh, wow, thank you.
Yeah. So now, my dear, this country, if we all cannot rise up and say this is what we want, these evil people will continue ruling us in this country. And it is the last time now for we to say no for bad things. Because if we continue, look at the election that happened on 25 February. We all know and see how the election goes. But some people are still out and say this is president elect. It's not president elect. Nobody elected him. No any state in Nigeria that come out now and jubilate that we have the next president. Everybody is mourning like there is something happening in the country. So please, you people, I don't like that language you people that always use, that president elect. Nobody elected him.
All right, thank you so much, Akachuku, right? Ginika, thank you so much.
From Lagos.
I think I also want to debunk that.
Yeah.
When you say nobody elected him, of course there were people under the All Progressives Congress. We have governors of APC states. We have, you know, House of Reps members. We have senators. We have state assembly members of the All Progressive Congress. They actually said they have the most structures. You know, the APC said they had the most structures, and of course they are also the ruling party. So obviously people elected them. But whether the mandate was stolen or not is left for the court, you know, to decide for us at the end of the day.
You know, like I said the other time, if you had, you know, okay, let me not mention a particular party. You know, we had 18 parties vying for that particular seat. There are some people that do not even have one single vote. If you had, you know, someone, you know, who had 1 vote or 2 votes or 5 votes in certain places come out and be announced as, you know, the president-elect, then we would have a problem. Because you're wondering, nobody elected this person, but you announced the person. But if someone had the numbers enough to be gathered, whether it was reconfigured or configured to fit, someone voted them. That their numbers rose enough to be, you know, elected. So please, Ginika, INEC has announced Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president-elect, and we'll continue to refer to him as president-elect. I mean,
until the court proves otherwise,
whether or not they do.
Yeah, he is the president-elect, please. Okay, so at this point, we'll go straight to our focus conversation. I actually wanted us to take a breather.
I think we should take that breather.
Yes, please. Let's take a breather. Let's take a breather, and we'll come back with our guest, Victor Anilaju, the CEO and founder of ePay. We'll be back shortly.
Welcome back. This is still Rise and Shine. At this point, we'll be having a focused conversation, and we have Victor Anilaju on standby to have a conversation with us this morning. Of course, he's the founder of IPE and former president aspirant himself under the People's Democratic Party. Of course, this particular leg of elections, Victor Anilaju is an energy that we're going to be having on the show this morning, especially to discuss the issues. We're looking at 2023 elections, the alleged hate on Igbos in Lagos State. Victor Anilaju, very good to have you on the show this morning. How are you and how is Lagos?
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you
Lagos
look
is great.
really bright and good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
We are close to victory, so we are very happy.
So you started wearing your agbada. Okay.
I like the fact that you describe Victor as an energy.
Yes, he's
and
an energy.
I heard that while we were having conversations and having Nigerians shared your thoughts, he was also, shaking his head in confirmation or in rejection of some of the things that were said.
Yeah.
Good morning, Victor, and thanks for joining us once again.
Yes, thank you. Even if I heard some things people said, that I don't think.
Okay, so don't worry about the things we said. Don't worry about debunking or affirming to them. We have a focus now. Let's just look at our focus. Lagos is one of the states that have been, fingered as very heated right now, and even on the papers this morning, even as we move to the gubernatorial elections and state houses of assembly elections on Saturday. Maybe you could just shed more light, since you're in Lagos, why it seems is heated. We know that there's the incumbent, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who is also running for the seat again. We have Jandor from the People's Democratic Party. We have Badebo, is it Rhodes? Yes, yeah. Badebo Rhodes of the Labour Party. And this seems, I think there's just one other person. I can't wrap my head around his name right now. This seems to be giving the APC in Lagos State a good run for their time. And again, let's not forget the significant difference that the presidential elections have.
Okay, first of all, Nigerians, Lagosians are tired of APC. I believe everybody right now can testify that APC-led government has failed 100% because the economy right now is not working. There is insecurity. There is over 21 million children out of school. Over 131 million Nigerians are living below poverty level. So what is going on in Lagos is a reflection of how Nigerians, it's not only the Igbos, the entire nation have rejected the APC. But why is it so why does it have much impact in Lagos? Is because, like I said earlier on this program, Lagos happens to be the heart of APC. So everything that you are seeing right now in Lagos is that they have been rejected. And people are not coming out to vote for them anymore. So they have resolved into thuggery, into threats, into try to make it seem like it's a tribal war. You could see a leading candidate, they are dragging him because the mother is Igbo. And I don't know how your language can prevent you from not performing. Somebody that have over 400 years history of his great-great-grandparents being in the forefront of politics and leadership in Nigeria. Now you are not saying that he's not a Lagosian, he's an Igbo boy because he has an Igbo name called Chinedu. I don't understand. Lagos currently right now is occupied by non-Yoruba speaking indigenes. We have over 60% of non-Yoruba people occupying Lagos. The island alone, statistics have shown us while we're doing our real estate survey, there are more of Igbos who stays in the island than the Yoruba people. The Lagos indigenes, that's those that have their grandparents' ancestral land in Lagos, are not up to 10% of the population that live in Lagos right now. So anybody that is coming out and saying that the Igbo are bad people, that person does not have a progressive mind. This is the one tribe that you can testify today that wherever they go, they are progressive in nature, and you are engaged them. This is a tribe that majority of your tax, of your income that you earn as a state comes from their businesses, comes directly from them. So why are you hating them? Because
okay,
they have
so
rejected
let's put things in perspective now, Victor. Let's put things in perspective. The hate or alleged hate on the Igbos in Lagos State, before now we did not quite see that. Igbo people are very industrious people, and just like you said, Lagos enterprising, and most of the businesses done in Lagos are done by non-indigens of even the Lagos state, okay? But before now, there was this, togetherness, this harmony between everybody in Lagos state. The alleged hate that we're talking about now, and which seems to just magnify, is coming from the presidential elections that happened on the 25th of February, where Labour Party won the elections in Lagos. So why do we have this? It's alleged that the Igbos in Lagos State, voted for the Labour Party and all of that. So what exactly how do we now interpret all of those things?
It's because of politics. Because we, the people, have rejected the APC. And they are not angry. Why are we rejecting them? If you have done well, the people will accept you and vote you in. So they have found out that majority of the people in Lagos right now, like I said before, are non-indigenous of Lagos State. And Igbos happen to be one of the major tribes. Now, if there's anything we all have to understand in Nigeria is that if you go to any state in Nigeria today, after the indigenes, the indigenes of that state, the next most popular tribe you find in those states are Igbos, because they are progressive minded, they are entrepreneur, right? So they carry their business from one place to the other. All these things that you are seeing playing and the hate is because of politics. I assure you, after this election, it will be business forward, not business as usual, because right now, Nigerians, Lagosians now have this progressive mind, this mind of let's build a new Lagos, let's get things done properly. One thing you should understand is that people will always reject oppression. Whether they reject it now or whether they reject it tomorrow, but always know that at some point, the people will wake up one morning and say, enough is enough. And that is what we are doing currently in Lagos. We are tired of having one man leading a metropolitan city for over 2 decades. We are tired of having people who don't have the capacity, who don't have the character, who are not competent, leading competent people.
So are you indirectly or directly saying that Babajide Sanwo-Olu is not competent because he's the present governor of Lagos State? Are you saying he's not competent? He's on the ballot as well.
Not. Yeah, he's not, because judging by what we see in Lagos, he's in fact right now, by our research, is one of the worst governors that Lagos State have ever had. There are governors
haven't there been
Lagos
performances? Haven't there been things that Sanwo-Olu has done in the last years that he's been, governor of Lagos State? Because let's also be fair, on the part of citizenry, governor seems to be doing very well, because we did not hear Lagosians shout out in his first year in office, second year in office, third year. Now he's finished this fourth round and wants to be re-elected into office. We're suddenly hearing people say, oh, Sanwo-Olu has not done satisfactorily by Lagosians. Has it always been this way, or also is this sentiment being whipped up by the electorate?
The truth about it is that if he has done well, the people will want him to continue. That's something we all have to agree on. The truth about it, that Lagosians are not dull people. They are people who are exposed. If a governor is doing well, the people will defend him. He's not doing well. If you know any project or something that he has done, you can mention it so we discuss about it. It's obvious. You have people in Lagos. Come to Lagos. Lagos is one of the dirtiest city right now in Nigeria. Lagos is so much indebted. Businesses are going down in Lagos.
Because I was just about to go into the economy of Lagos State, talking about the GDP. I mean, Lagos is a self-generating economy of its own. So if you're saying that the economy of Lagos State has been falling, where are we backdating it to? Is it since when Sanwo-Olu came into power and all of what's really the indices on ground? And, you know, something else I'd really like to ask, you know, when we are talking about the allegations of hate against the Igbos in Lagos State, what exactly are we looking at? Are their businesses under attack? Are their lives under attack? And who are the people instigating these things? I mean,
of course, we just saw the Akere market, which we hear is predominantly you know, sold by the Igbos. And some people are also saying that this is politically motivated because we saw Sanwo-Olu just yesterday, you know, laying the foundation and giving 100 million naira, you know, to those in the market as well.
Because when you're saying that people have gone to attack the Igbos, these people that are carrying out these attacks, did we import them from another country, or are they Nigerians from other ethnic groups? Why are we having this kind of division, even fostered by politics, as it were? But Victor Anilaju, just help us sort that out. The GDP of Lagos State, did it start falling when Sanwo-Olu, you know, got in there, or what's it really been like?
Okay, so let's see it like this. I will give you 3 major points which you used to maybe you used to put as a benchmark to know if Lagos is doing well or not. One of them is security. The second one is the traffic in Lagos, right? The third one is maybe we'll say the business. How well are people doing businesses in Lagos? Now, on these 3 points, someone who has failed. I'm just comparing him with the previous governor, Ambode, that just left. Now, during Ambode time, we saw that the traffic situation dropped because he was able to build some pedestrian bridge. He has to demarcate the road so people don't just cross the road. People have to use the pedestrian bridge. He has to beautify most of the parks so that buses can go into those parks and dispatch their passengers, right? But currently, as we speak, all those legacy that was laid down by Ambode right now have been destroyed because the current governor, which is Sanwo-Olu, had not the capacity or had the character or is competent enough to sustain Lagos. Lagos is not just a state. Lagos could be seen as a metropolitan city. The level of insecurity right now in Lagos is bad. You can't drive at night. You can't be seen inside your car in traffic. People are just out there to steal from people who are walking on their own. You can't come out as early as 5 o'clock walking on the road in Lagos. Otherwise, you'll be attacked by hoodlums. Right. So when we look at these indices, you can say that the present governor of Lagos State is not doing well. Is it businesses? There are more businesses that are shutting down in Lagos now as we speak. People are even now leaving Lagos to either go back to their other states or go outside the country. right? So one thing you should know is that if a place is working, people will want to stay. I've, I've had friends who have sold their properties and had to live out of Lagos.
But
So
Victor,
when we say
Victor,
Lagos is not
when you
working,
put these arguments forward, the next question that will be in the mind of somebody is, why is Victor still in Lagos?
I choose to remain in Nigeria, and currently now I find myself in Lagos. Now I'm in Lagos. It doesn't mean that I love to stay in Lagos. It's just because I choose to stay in Nigeria.
Anyways, let's just leave
Right?
that there. Let's just leave that there. Now, there's something that came up on the front pages of our national dailies this morning, and I'd like us to talk about it. The chief spokesperson of Labour Party, Dr. Yunusa Tanko, has said that the quietness by the president-elect Asiwaju Bola Tinubu over the continuous ethnic profiling and hate propaganda against Igbos in Lagos State is dangerous for Nigeria's corporate existence. Now, my question is, whether Tinubu speaks or not, what's the difference? Will it make any visible difference?
Okay, so yes, it will make a whole lot of difference. Let him come out and tell his thugs and his area boys to remain calm and peaceful.
So it comes back to what I said earlier, that this is politically motivated.
Yes, right now, whatever you are seeing going on in society has a political undertone. But one thing you should know is that APC is losing. So they are out to leech out on people, release their anger on people. They hate to lose. I've always said it on your program that APC, they are bad losers, right? So they always want to win. And when they find out that they are losing, they will want to destroy everybody. They want to bring everybody down. APC is ready to bring Nigeria down today.
So that means
right?
that means that the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu still has a firm grip, yes, of Lagos State. If we are saying that we are waiting for him to talk to the people in Lagos State, Southwest now, to sheath their sword, that means he has a strong grip of Lagos.
But even before we even skip all the way to get to the president-elect, Janice, we've not heard the president of the Federal Republic, who is still president until March 29, say anything about some of the uprisings that we have heard since, the February 25th election. There's been an offshoot of several things happening in the country. We've not heard President Muhammadu Buhari directly address anything. For God's sake, Igbos are Nigerians living in Nigeria. Yeah. If we are having the conversations that since after the February 25th elections, they have been under serious threat in Lagos State, we should have the man at the helms of affairs who himself is the biggest, authority too in the All Progressives Congress, come out to say something, to allay the fears of Igbos living in Lagos, and also to, just give voice in some sort of way. Victor Anilaji, that's a problem on ground. Even before we even skip to getting the president-elect to give his words, just yet, President Muhammadu Buhari hasn't said anything.
Yes, one of the reasons why the president is not speaking is because the president knows that the people have rejected him. Nigerians don't want to see him because he promised us a credible election, which he did not do. Before his eyes, he saw election being rigged, he saw people being injured, he saw touts carrying ballot boxes, and he did not condemn it. And people always say, let's go to court. Court is not the final say. It's we, the people, that have the final say. Court will only just affirm the will of the people. The court is not going to bring out evidence. The court will actually bring your evidence. It's based on the evidence that you present before the court that the court will use to work. And that is why I like one of your callers said that I think we should not just be addressing him as the president-elect. And he has his rights to say so, because majority of Nigerians did not vote him in, right? He's just a president that was announced, a president announced by INEC. Unless we want to say because we're on air, let us be civil. But what was civil about lying? To me, I feel any person that comes on TV and say he's the president-elect, I feel that you are lying. Because it's obvious that we all in Nigeria, we know that he was not elected. We know that INEC had just announced him as the winner.
Well,
And
I think that it has also been made clear that the courts will, at the end of the day, let Nigerians know who is or who is not the president
the
of
court will
Nigeria.
work with what we say. The court will work with our own evidence. It's just like as you are right now. If you are invited as a witness to the court and say, what do you think? Do you think this man won his election or not? Will your conscience allow you stand in that court and say Bola Ahmed Asiwaju won the election? It is no. So let's as much as we want to be civil, apply diplomacy in our speech, but should we be lying? That's the part I don't understand. We all know in this country that election was real. We know that he didn't even come out second. He came out like fourth or third, right? But because of money, bribery, and corruption, he was.
Also, the president has said if we are dissatisfied with the election or the outcome of the presidential election, we should seek redress in court. So obviously parties are pulling up and pulling together their evidences to back that up. So we'll leave that at that and let the courts decide at the end of the day if they can also prove, if the parties in question can also prove that they won the elections and their mandate was stolen. Still on the Igbo issue, I know that a lot of Igbo elites are speaking on the attack against Lagos Igbos in Lagos State, and we just hope that they get to sort that out. But Victor, as we move forward, after tomorrow, which is Friday, Saturday 18th, is the gubernatorial and state houses of assembly elections in Nigeria. Do we see a replay of what happened during the Democratic Party and, of course, Babaji Saturday? I don't even know.
Your Labour Party at heart, your Labour Party at heart was a card-carrying member of the People's Democratic Party.
Let me now tell you that even GRROV party, majority of people in APC are also from
PDP.
PDP. A lot of us have, in one way or the other, been part of PDP, and today we are supporting Labour Party because and care for the people is the major agenda that we want to carry out.
But now, it doesn't also mean, Victor, sorry I'm cutting you short. It doesn't also mean that when once you fly under the Labour Party, it automatically means that you have some level of integrity and capacity as well.
Yes, but I will tell you that any of the Labour Party candidates that you see today have more ability to care for the people and to also have that character. They are not thugs, they are not out, right? Now, you may not want to agree with me, but what I'm saying to you is that what we are building in Nigeria is a system, not just a people or just some persons. The Labour Party right now, what we are coming together to build in Labour Party is a system where even if you are the worst criminal, right, and you get into the Labour Party, all those your characters that are not acceptable by the people, we will strip them off you and give you a better platform where you can lead the people from the area of your competence, from the area of your good character. To see this Saturday, we expect more persons to come out and vote for LP, right? Because we already know that LP, as we speak today, is setting a new pace, a new standard for the democratic system of Nigeria. And anybody that is progressive in mind, anybody that likes development, will embrace what we're seeing in the Labour Party. Now, it's not just about the party, it's about the foundation, it's about the belief system. As we speak right now, Labour Party is not a party of people who have big money, who have lifestyles. No. In fact, Labour Party is giving people an opportunity people who are nobody to become something in our society. And that is what we have always prayed and wished Nigeria become, where a child of nobody can become somebody without even knowing anybody in the political space. And we have seen that emerge in Labour Party. Now, take it back to Lagos State right now. I could tell you that the Labour Party in Lagos State is doing very well. And why are they doing well? Because they care about the people. It's not because they have money bags. It's not because they have touts. It's not because they know how to be violent. No, it's because they care for the people. What Nigerians need help. Nigerians need a leader that will care about them, that will help them to solve their problem, that will listen to them. We have had APC in Lagos for over 2 decades, and their leadership care less about what happened to the people.
It's been a long
Right?
time.
And we are introducing another party now that we care for Lagosians, that will help them to solve their challenges, to make sure that there is security, to make sure that there is less traffic in Lagos, and to make sure that businesses in Lagos thrive. Because if Lagos is not doing well, I will tell you that Nigeria will not do well, right? Because Lagos is the capital hub of Nigeria, right? So we will need Lagos to do well. And we trust the current Labour Party candidate, the person of Gbadebo, right? And we are not just banking all hope on him. We have young people in Lagos who are ready to work with him to make sure that the dream of a new Lagos is built or is better. So it's a benefit for everybody.
I think that Lagosians will decide that on Saturday. Lagosians will decide that on Saturday.
Because I was also going to look at, if we draw it side by side with what our initial conversations, were, especially because we are also seeing people attempt to raise a lot of dust around his ethnicity, as it were. If you say Lagosians want to embrace a Labour Party candidacy for the governor's seat, let's think a little ahead. If this turns out to be the case in Lagos, what are the ground plans to shock absorb, what the response will be? If this is what the response is because Labour Party won in Lagos State, if they win the gubernatorial seat, Victor Anilaju, what shock absorbers is Labour Party and the young teeming youth putting in place to rebuff what might come off as a result of the elections? The Igbos are suffering it now for the presidential election. If you go and win the polls for the gubernatorials, what are you going to do?
One thing you should know about Lagos is immediately they announced Labour Party as the winner in Lagos State, there will be calm, there will be joy and happiness. We only have some few persons who are aggrieved by the winning of Labour Party, and those few are not up to 1% of the total population of Lagos. The majority of Lagosians want Labour Party to come into power.
You seem to be talking about Labour Party. You've not even talked about Jandor of the People's Democratic Party. Let's understand.
No, it's the truth about it is that PDP has lost Lagos State. I think we have tried to give them that opportunity many times, but they could not meet up. But we found out that Labour Party have been able to sell and package their party very well. And Lagosians have embraced the Labour Party because it's a party that cares for the people.
All right.
If you're in Lagos, one of the things that you want to hear or receive in Lagos is that care. That leader that wants to show that he or she is there for the people. Because Lagos it's a city that comes with its own challenges.
All right.
So you want to be sure that your governor is always there to listen to the people, and not just listen, he's able to come up with visions, ideas that will help solve the challenges of the people.
Okay, I think, Victor, I need to quote you at this point. Thank you so much for your time. I know that another allegation that is trailing the Labour Party candidate in Lagos State is the fact that he can't even speak the language. So how does he communicate with especially those in the rural areas and maybe also traditional rulers in Lagos? But we want to thank you.
A quick one. Does his deputy gubernatorial candidate know how to speak Yoruba? Does his deputy know how to speak?
Yes, she knows how to speak Yoruba.
Okay, so that's all.
Yes,
That's
he balances.
She's from a royal family also. Okay. And you can have many interpreters.
Thank you so much, Victor.
Some of these people, they will always have somebody to interpret
for them, of course.
So I don't see now for Lagos. What we know in Lagos, the majority of the people in Lagos, they know how to speak good English. They hear English.
Okay.
So
all right.
It's just like about 10 to 15%.
Thank you.
That are
Thank
just
you.
Yoruba speaking.
Bye. That's all. If you say he cannot speak Yoruba, does his deputy know how to speak Yoruba?
Well, those are some of the allegations trailing him, sentiments that are trailing Badibo Roads, the Labour Party gubernatorial candidate for Lagos State. But Saturday will tell definitely.
Who the people really want. We
will
hope
decide.
That we hope that what the people want will reflect in the
getting all the materials ready, uploading election results to the IREV and all of that. But fingers crossed on that one. We'll just at this point draw the curtains, and we'll definitely see you again tomorrow for another edition of Rise and Shine Daily. Thank you so much for being a part of our show. My name is Janice Cobham. See you again tomorrow.
My name is Uyaya Anyeka, and it's been a great delight doing this with you. Thank you to everyone who called in on the show.